This is a video about different kinds of biocrusts formed by mosses, and this is one by the River Trent, and it's a biocrust of, I believe, Syntrichia caninervis. It has all the characteristics of that moss, though it could be something else. And it's collected a lot of sand around itself, but the shoots have no clear attachment. So this crust is quite fragile and weak and easily damaged. So it doesn't like being trodden on, and in the desert these plants are very susceptible to being trodden on. And the crust is broken. This is a cushion forming moss whose structure is a lot more rigid. It's still a Syntrichia with the characteristic hairs at the ends of the leaves and coming back to life after hydration. But here is one that is dry, and it's quite tough in this situation. And here's another cushion forming one, a bit bigger this time, but it's still fairly tough and rigid with the shoots attached to the substrate there. It's quite rigid. It's not going to be broken very easily. Obviously if I tear it apart, it will be torn apart, but it's not anywhere as easily as broken as the sandy lawn biocrust, which we looked at first. Here's another clump forming moss which is large, and it's quite a well integrated clump, and if you turn it over you will see underneath that all the shoots are well attached to the substrate, and it's going to be quite difficult again to separate the shoots and to separate the clump. It's quite tough, and it will fall off from the point of attachment and in one piece. Here's the desert type biocrust again, collected in sand, and there are no clear points of attachment of the shoots on to a substrate. And here you can see me easily breaking the clumps apart as I just handle it simply with my thumb and forefinger. It's just sand that these plants are in. They're simply embedded in there. They're well alive, but they're easy to separate into pieces. And this may be a positive thing for propagation. Here's the the cushion forming Syntrichia again. I'm just showing you here how rigid it is and how difficult to break it. Obviously I could force it, but this kind of moss structure is not going to be broken easily except by being trodden on and stamped on, particularly. Even then it won't break up. This one's the same. The shoots are clearly attached to the substrate. It's not going to be terribly easy to break it up. So these mosses, these cushion mosses, managed to stay fairly well integrated. Back to this lawn turf type moss, it's like a desert biocrust, and you can't really see where the shoots are attaching to the substrate. They're just buried in the sand. They're really easy to break or damage, and as I say, that's why there are problems with biocrusts being broken in the desert, because I think the mosses don't have particularly good attachments to their substrate. They're just sitting in sand, and they can be split easily into smaller pieces. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.